Morning guys, what is up my YouTube people, and I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be based off of a PDF that was provided by Timothy Sykes. So I will leave a link in the description below so that you can check out his channel and gain access to the PDF yourself so that you can read it when you are by yourself. However, for the next 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how long it takes us to get through the content, I'll be providing you guys with the exact material that was provided by Timothy Sykes, and we can go over it together and study together and make ourselves better traders. So guys, as you can see here, we've gotten straight into the juice of the content, and this is the book that we'll be reading, known as Trading Foundations, and we'll be reading this and going through the material together as we enhance our mindsets. And you can see, preparing a 7-figure mentality, because most people, if not 99% of people, do not have a 7-figure mentality. Therefore, if you're on a 7-figure mentality, how do you get it? You read about it, you listen to podcasts about it, you see it on movies, you see it on TV. You immerse yourself in an environment where people are talking about making that type of money so that it becomes normal to you and to your brain. So now we'll start and we go through the table of contents where we have our introduction. Disclaimer, this is provided by Timothy Sykes. I should give the man his credit, give the man his due, because I'm sure it took him a long time to assemble this piece of content. So let's get into it. So we have TikTok, you don't stop. Then we have a case study, chapter 2, you don't need to go in alone. Case study, Tim Gritani. Chapter 3, stop waiting for the perfect time, there isn't one. Case study, Jack Kellogg. Chapter 4, don't pay the market. Case study, Michael Good. Chapter 5, you don't know what you don't know. Case study, Michael Hudson. So disclaimer before we begin, the trading profit figures stated on my personal profit, Timothy Sykes, not me, Teflon Don. Please understand my results. Please understand his results are not typical. He is not implying that you duplicate this or do anything for that matter. You have the benefit of trading stocks. He has the benefit of trading stocks for 20 years and has an established following as a result. The average person who trades stocks gets little to no results. 90% of traders lose money. He's using these references for example purposes only. The results will vary and depend on many factors, including but not limited to your background, experience, and work ethic. The stock market entails risk, as well as massive and consistent effort and action. If you're not willing to accept that, please do not read this book. And therefore, we are willing to accept that. So we'll start with the introduction. Why do you want to become a day trader? If you're looking for a way to get rich fast, this isn't the game for you. Becoming a profitable day trader is possible, but it requires discipline and a lot of hard work. If you want to be successful, you must find a formula that works for you. It's impossible to guess your way to the top. The good news is that if you're willing to put in the work, the rewards can be incredible. Day trading offers the opportunity to gain profits and keep flexible schedule. For some, trading can provide a secondary stream of income. I personally don't think that, because I don't think you can trade and do, it's like trying to be a football player and a basketball player. It's like trying to be in the Premier League and the NBA at the same time. It's going to be very difficult, if not almost impossible. However, I guess if we were to put it in the context, I would actually give you a better context that maybe allows this to be true, which is like maybe you're a kickboxer and therefore you have an opportunity to delve into MMA. However, because you're a kickboxer, you're not going to be amazing at mixed martial arts, because there are many types of martial arts, from boxing to jiu-jitsu to Krav Maga to so many taekwondo, karate, different types of combat. So for you to get into the MMA as a kickboxer, you're going to be limited. The best thing you can do for yourself to get into the MMA is to combine each and every single attribute of fighting and perfect it. Become a good grappler, a good wrestler, become a good kickboxer, become a good boxer, become good at jiu-jitsu so that your ground game is strong. You just have to be an all-round ultimate fighter, and that is what is required. So when people say second stream of income, maybe if your stream of income is closely tied to trading, then it is possible. However, if now you're a swimmer and then now you want to do trading at the same time and chase them simultaneously, that is going to be very difficult because they're two complete polar opposites. Even though they both require discipline and all of that, the actions and the steps that you actually take, the information that is needed, is going to be much more different. One, you're working with your mind, the other, you're working with your body. Anyways, let's get back. Day trading has given me the ability to live my dream life. I can work from anywhere in the world. I'm able to travel, eat well, live well, and give back to the community. When you set specific goals and work toward them by dedicating yourself to your trading career, incredible things can happen. It is also easy to get started. Really, all you need is a laptop, an internet connection, and a broker. But smart traders also take the time to invest in their education. Day trading isn't rocket science, but it does require an understanding of the market and a proven trading plan. Unfortunately, relatively few traders are willing to put in the effort needed to build a strong foundation of trading knowledge. This is one of the biggest reasons why so many traders fail. They jump into the market without understanding how it works, then they quickly lose both money and motivation. This book is designed to help you become one of those traders who succeed. And that is very important. How you enter the market will probably dictate how your career goes. If you enter it trying to get rich quick, you put in a lot of money, you over risk, you overtrade, then very, very soon you'll find yourself out of the market and completely stop trading because you will have trauma. It's traumatizing to lose money. It's a very difficult thing to lose money, especially when you haven't built the mindset and the foundation that can take a loss. If you haven't built that, and you haven't also built a realistic mindset, meaning that this get rich quick is unrealistic. Therefore, it's very important that when you come into the market, you have a base knowledge provided before you ever get in. You don't become a doctor by starting to practice. You have to first go to school and learn and learn and learn. And then eventually when you've learned enough, that's when you can start practicing. And once you start practicing, that's when you actually start to learn and gain experience. Everything else is knowledge, but the experience comes after the knowledge. It's very important, man. This book focuses on some of the most common objections that potential day trading students have, including I don't have time to trade, I want to try on my own first, I'm waiting for the right time to get started, I'd rather put money into the market rather than into my education, I'm too new to trading. These aren't so much obstacles as they are excuses, or maybe they're just fears. The purpose of this book is to help new traders get past these excuses, fears, while building the key traits of profitable traders. To help bring each point home, every chapter features a case study of a student who overcame each of these toxic mindsets with successful results. The students who are truly bound for success do not make excuses, they make it happen no matter what, because they have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. And this is something that came across to me through YouTube, watching Andrew Huberman's podcast, where he speaks about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is the mindset that is going to go against you because it believes that people are naturally smart. People are naturally just gifted with the talents that they have from the start, and they don't have to put in any work. As opposed to a growth mindset which believes that nobody is good at anything from the start, and for you to become better, it requires you to start practicing and growing. And the only way you can grow is through pain. You'll have the growing pains, and it's all a part of the game. However, with the growth mindset, there are no excuses because you're growing. You have compassion for yourself and you understand that you're trying to learn something new. So chapter 1. TikTok, you don't stop. I don't have enough time. This might be the most common excuse I hear from potential day traders. Unfortunately, it is also usually a big warning sign that the person isn't going to make it. Because how can you say you don't have time for your dreams? That might sound harsh, but I've got to be real. I get it, people have lives, they have families, full-time jobs, responsibilities, but you can always make time for things that matter. If you want to become a day trader, you need to make time. Nobody's going to make time for you. You've got to carve it out for yourself. You've got to have the discipline to follow through until you make time. You'll never be able to get serious about trading. Time is not the issue. Some people seem to accomplish so much while others accomplish so little. It's really just a matter of how you manage your time. It's never really a question of time, it's a question of prioritizing your time. Everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. I have the same 24 hours. You have the same 24 hours. Jay Huss has the same 24 hours. Warren Buffett has the same 24 hours. Timothy Weah has the same 24 hours. LeBron James has the same 24 hours, and we can just keep going and going and going until we've named all 9 billion people on the planet. So instead of talking about time or lack thereof, let's talk about the real problems. Usually no time actually means one of these things. One, a lack of direction. Do you know why you want to become a day trader? If your goals are vague like get rich, then you won't be motivated enough. It's hard to make time for something that doesn't give you excitement and focus. On the other hand, if you set a specific goal like buy a luxury condo for $1.25 million in Miami, you've got something to work with. While it may seem far off at the beginning of your career, it gives you something specific to set your sights on, and you can set up mini goals or milestones that will begin to get you there. This will help give you the motivation to make a trading priority. Chapter 1. This is actually a principle called goal setting, theory based on research that began in the 1960s by Dr. Edwin Locke and Dr. Gary Latham. In researching the connection between clear goals and performance, they found that there was a relationship between the difficulty and specificity of a goal and people's performance of tasks. Ultimately, they discovered that specific and difficult goals lead to better task performance than vague or easy goals. And that is just the nature of work. When you do hard work, you perform better, you become better. When you do easy work, you gain results, but you don't actually improve. You just have an outcome. And the whole point of doing all of these things is to have a combination of both, is to turn hard work into easy work. Make something that's difficult easy, so that when people see you doing it, they're like, wow, he makes it look so easy. Not knowing that, man, I've been grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding, and therefore those type of comments will be appreciated, because that is specifically what you're working towards, is to make something that is difficult look easy. So number 2, no routine. Do you have daily routines? If not, you might not be managing your time effectively. Most successful people have specific daily routines. For instance, Apple CEO Tim Cook wakes up at 3:45 so that he can do things like sift through 700 plus emails he gets per day and work out before he needs to hit the office. Maybe that's what Tim Cook does. Nobody knows. Nobody's got a camera on him watching him 24/7. But we will take that and use it as motivation. So I'm not saying you need to wake up at 3:45 a.m., but I'm saying that you've got to figure out a routine that works for you. You might be waking up earlier to study or ditching Netflix for a while. Wow, ditching Netflix. You could also listen to trading podcasts and lessons while you're commuting to work or working out. And when it comes to this thing of having no time, the main important thing that you must do is just eliminate all the distractions in your life up until you're at a point where you have actually achieved the things that you want to achieve. So the harder the goal is, the longer you're going to have to eliminate those distractions. However, the fruit that you bear at the end of it, if you do bear any fruit, will be the most flavorful, juicy, ripe fruit that you'll ever bear. And that is a consequence on building momentum. something that started like this, and because it was really hard and it took a long time, it managed to build more momentum, more pressure, and once it explodes, bam, it's out of sight. So you really have to set up a trading routine and stick to it if you want to be successful. And that is very important. You need to decide which hours you are going to trade in, which session will you be trading. And if you have a job, and wherever you are in the world, like where I am, if I had a job, I'd have to wake up at 12 and trade till maybe like 3 a.m. For the Asian session. That's when the Asian session opens where I'm at. And those are the times that I'll be able to trade, because I know that throughout the rest of the day, the Europe session and the New York session, I will not be available. So you need to discover which time you're going to trade. And when it comes to these times that you're going to trade, they're all going to have advantages and disadvantages. However, the best times to trade, of course, are going to be the New York and the London sessions, because that is the time where there are more traders and more volume, and people are buying and selling the instruments in real time, thus affecting the market price in real time. However, if that is not a possibility, then you need to figure out when you can allocate a time for you to trade, and trade that time consistently. Meaning, if you're going to decide today, I'm going to trade from 2 p.m. in the afternoon to 5 p.m. in the afternoon, you have to trade from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the afternoon every single time for an extended period of time, up until you see that it's not working, or you feel that it is not the right time to trade for you. However, in the beginning, you need to be consistent with the time that you're going to trade, because there are certain triggers in the market that are based off of time, not based off of price, but based off of time. There's certain things that are going to happen at 12 a.m. London time. There's certain things that are going to happen at 2:30 p.m. London time. Certain news that is going to come out at the same time. Therefore, you also have to trade at the same time. You have to be as consistent as the institutions are. And that is one of the secret keys. So 3, no accountability. Day trading can be lonely. If you're lonely and unmotivated, you're not going to make time for it. One way to increase your accountability is by getting involved in the trading community. One of the best things about my trading challenge is the community and the chat room. Traders can talk about tickers, get advice, and generally be surrounded by like-minded people. It keeps them motivated, gives them accountability, and helps them keep learning. And I honestly believe that is the right way to do it in the beginning, when you haven't yet built that identity that I am a trader. But as time goes on, man, I would actually advise you that you stay away from trading communities, because as your knowledge increases and your experience increases, you'll begin to see the real from the fake. And in those communities, there are a lot of fakers. So you do not want that affecting your mindset when you go onto the charts, or affecting your mindset when you're on a losing streak and things are not going well for you, because the people in the community will be telling you that they're winning every single day because they want to impress you and they want the acknowledgement from the people. They don't actually really care about trading, but they care about what comes with trading, which is the prestige, the status, and people looking up to you because you're doing something that is very difficult. So with your mindset and your mentality, when you become comfortable on the charts, you should be like a tiger. If you watch a tiger is a solitary animal that goes about its business. It collaborates when it needs to collaborate. However, most of the time it's working on itself, and we are trying to build tigers. We're trying to build predators. We're trying to build hungry mother. So number 4, laziness. Nobody likes to hear this, but one big reason why people don't make time for trading is because they're lazy. Do you sleep in every day? Are you constantly binge watching TV shows? Are you always texting your friends? Do you play video games? Are you constantly on Facebook? Do you go out drinking a lot? And that's one of the hardest things. It's one of the hardest things to overcome, because all of these things that he's speaking about, all of these things are habits. And a lot of people by default have built these habits. So now, to come out of those habits It's either it's going to be a very gradual, slow process of you weaning down and remember, you have to remember, the most important thing is you have to be compassionate with yourself. Do not beat yourself up for doing things that you don't want to do. You have to be compassionate, and you have to understand that the things that you're doing them for a reason. And there's a reason why you've been doing them this whole time. And they could have been benefiting you this whole time. You playing video games could have actually been helping you till this point in time where it's now become a distraction. You watching TV all day could have actually been helping you till it got to a point where it became a distraction. So do not beat yourself up for having these habits, because they were helping you. Watching TV was giving you knowledge about the world, about different cultures, different life, so many things that you can gain from watching TV, same as from playing video games. It's only now when you now want to do something in the real world that it now becomes a distraction, because you've gotten what you need to get out of those things. And when it's now a habit like this and you're just watching for the purpose of watching, as you said, binge watching, then at that point you have become lazy and it is now destroying you. So do not beat yourself up for saying that I played PlayStation for the last 6 hours, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's done that. I've done that, mate. And I honestly believe that helped me, because it helped me sit at a computer for 6-7 hours, days on end. It helped me overcome obstacles as I leveled up in games, defeating bosses. So many good things come from playing games. And all I would say is, if you think that it's a bad thing, then neglect your children from all of the technology that we have. Send them to the village, let them grow up in the village, and let's see how they turn out. It doesn't mean that they're going to turn out any better because they were away from all of this technology and all of this stimulation. So the point is, you have to be compassionate with yourself. So I'm not making judgments on how you choose to spend your time, but I want to point out that if you're these things, you've got several things you could cut out and make time for trading. If you do these things and claim you have no time to trade, you're just being lazy. It's your choice. Do you want to waste time on empty pursuits that won't get you ahead? Or do you want to be a successful day trader? If so, it's going to require some sacrifices. And as I said, all of those habits that you had built throughout that time before you decided to take on this endeavor, all of them were helping you. All of them were positive. All of them got you to this point where you could now consider day trading. Someone who has never played PlayStation, never touched a laptop, cannot have this idea. So you are blessed, and I want you to remember that. However, from this moment on, now that you know better, and now that you have goals in the real world that you want to pursue, it's time to put the PlayStation down, put the Netflix down, put the YouTube down, put all the distractions down, and fully engage. And it's not a sacrifice that you have to do forever. It's a sacrifice that you have to make in the meantime. The same sacrifice that you would make when you start going to the gym. The hardest part is always going to be the beginning. And the more you keep delaying and backtracking, the more you're going to have to just keep starting over and over and over and just experiencing the hardest part up until eventually you give up because it's just too difficult. Therefore, it's important that when you start trading, you pursue it fully, you engage yourself fully up until you get to a point where the knowledge and the experience has made something that is hard easy for you. And then from that point on, you can start slowly delving back into the things that were giving you pleasure in life. So how to make time for trading? If you want to make more time for your trading, put these into action. Resolve to make time. The first step toward making space in your schedule for studying and trading is deciding that you're going to make time. It's a small step, but an important one. 2, set specific goals. Think hard about what you hope to gain from trading. Set very specific goals for what you hope to achieve. You can even print out visual images or write down your goals and keep it posted by your work area to stay motivated. And all of these things, do them in the beginning. Eventually, you become a trader, man, and you do not have to motivate. You don't have to do any of these things. Nobody has to remind you. You don't even have to remind yourself, because This is what you are and this is what you do. This is who you are, and it's a part of your identity. Therefore, you do not need constant reminders. You do not need to be motivated. You just do the work because it's part of your identity, because you've been doing it for so long. 3, make a trading routine. Really look at where and when you can make time for studying and trading. If you have a 9-to-5 job, it will probably be early or late in the day. Establish a schedule of specific times at which you will devote yourself to studying and trading, and stick to them. Let your family and friends know about your trading routines so they won't bother you. Drop bad habits. Ditch your time sponge habits like endlessly scrolling through Facebook or watching 4 hours of TV every night. Boom, more time for trading. Keep yourself accountable. Surround yourself with a community of traders that will help keep you motivated and on track. Or, what I would say is an even better way is to just sacrifice all of the plans that you had before from your previous life and fully engage into this trader life. And what that means is that just abandon everything. Make this the only plan. If you are trying to pursue a career out of this, which most likely you are because you're learning and you're gaining experience from content like this, then make this your plan A. Make this the only thing that you're going to do. Make this the only thing you want to do. Make this your dream. And then once it becomes your dream, you can begin to keep it alive by executing on it every single day. When you only have one plan, one path, you are forced to go with that one plan and that one path till death do us part. It's just similar to an old war tale that they always speak of on the internet and on TV about the guys who sailed to some island going for a war, and once they arrived and they docked their boats at the shores, the leader, the general, burnt the boats, and he told them, guys, the only way we're gonna go home is if we go in and kill the opposition and take their boats. If not, you can see the boats that we came in are burnt. Therefore, it's either we die or we conquer. No other choice. There's no going back. And it's as simple as that. So you have to burn all the bridges. Once you've burned all the bridges, you can fully engage. Once you've made it to a point where you feel comfortable, that's when you can start rebuilding those bridges. Keep it up. Success rewards consistency. If you're able to make time for studying and trading for a week, that's great, but it's not enough. To truly reap the most rewards, you need to prioritize making time for trading. You need to make it a part of your lifestyle. So now we have a case study. Finding it hard to make time for trading. Consider the case of my student Sandeep. Sandeep grew up in a middle-class family in India. He studied engineering, a solid career that would eventually take him to the UK, where he has been based for the past decade or so. Sandeep liked working as an engineer, but he's married and has a child. Expenses were piling up. When a friend mentioned they started trading, Sandeep decided to explore it as a potential secondary income stream, and that's how he found Timothy. Sandeep started trading in 2019. He spent 2 months studying alone, no trading. Made time for his education. Making time for his education wasn't easy. In addition to having a family, he has a full-time job. He studied on his lunch breaks and commute. He'd stay up late studying, sometimes until 2 a.m. Despite his dedication, trading success did not come instantly, and it never really does. He blew up his first 1.5K account, making newbie mistakes, holding and hoping, cutting losses too quickly, and lots of paper cut losses. He took time off, then started trading with the second 1.5K account. He blew up again. This time he lacked focus and was trying to make too many strategies at once. But he didn't give up, and in early 2020 he started trading again with the $2,000 account. This time he focused on one key pattern, the morning panic dip buy. This time things started to click. By the end of March 2020, his profit was total over 7,000. By December of the same year, his profit topped up 300,000. Once his profit exceeded 500,000 in early 2021, he was able to quit his job and go full-time as a trader. In September of 2021, he passed 1 million in trading profits. As of 2021, he's up 1.2 million in trading profits. Sandeep had a full-time job in the family. It wasn't easy to make time for or space for trading in his life. That's not always a right time to start trading. You need to make it happen. He wanted more out of life, so he did what he needed to do to start trading. He was willing to stay up late to study and power through the pain of his initial losses to keep working towards his goals. It changed his life forever. You don't need to go in alone, chapter 2. You don't need to do it alone. From the outside looking in, day trading seems easy. Why pay to take trading classes when you could just teach yourself? Plenty of new traders have this delusion that all they need to do is open a brokerage account, get trading, and make millions in a month. This mindset is a big part of why less than 10% of all traders succeed. Many have tried, many have failed. You're not going to reinvent the wheel. You're not going to just jump in and make huge profits, especially if you don't understand stock charts and market mechanics. Well, you could, but that's now just gambling. Unless you follow the rules, or at least learn them before you break them, you'll probably be one of the many traders who fail. Common reasons why traders fail. Timothy doesn't want you to be scared by telling you about the high failure rate in trading. He wants it to motivate you to do better. Traders do not fail because it's hard. They fail because they never had guidance and make dumb mistakes. Here are some of the most common reasons why traders fail. Following hot stock tips. Are you trading based on what you read in advertisements or email blasts? Hate it or break it to you, but you're not getting hot stock tips. You're getting played. If someone had a stock tip that hot, would they really advertise it? Usually the stocks are just being pumped by self-serving promoters. Traders can use alerts as a starting point, but always do your own research, develop your own strategy for figuring out if a trade is worth it or not. 2. Forcing trades. Trading is much of an emotional and mental challenge as it is a mathematical one. Here's something that happens all the time. A new trader has a successful trade or two, but then they start losing, they panic and start making bad decisions. They start jumping into trades that they haven't fully researched in hopes of recouping their profits, or they stay in trades instead of cutting their losses in the hopes that it will turn around. It's wishful thinking. They want it so bad that they try to make it happen into reality. Unfortunately, it does not work that way. 3. Believing the dream to a fault. Trade these companies but don't trust them. I believe the story behind the stock once. It led to my biggest ever loss, $500,000. True, sometimes penny stocks do make it. After all, True Religion Jeans was once a penny stock, but most will fail. Don't forget it. Even if they're bound to fail, they can have breathtaking moves before they do. Penny stocks can spike up hundreds or even thousands of percent or more in a very short amount of time. As a trader, it's not your job to forecast the next big thing. It's to react and take advantage of these short-lived moves while they last. And what I'd like to add on that is that you should not be trying to have historical moments within your life. Your life is the historical moment, and you'll begin to see that on days that you took big wins, there were big things happening in the world, and it all just correlated together, and that becomes a story. So a lot of people will hear or they'll watch movies where they see that these guys, it's like they waited for JFK to make this announcement, and then once they made that announcement, they knew that this was going to happen and this was going to happen, and they made the biggest profit of their lives. That is not the case, man. That is not the case. That is how a movie was scripted to you, because they want you to believe in a story, because humans like to believe in stories. However, most of the events that happen on the charts are random. So you will catch your biggest trade on that day that JFK announces. But it's because you executed a plan that you have been executing all along consistently. And that day just happened to be that JFK made an announcement, and it caused whatever stock or whatever market to go crazy. And you just happened to be in it because you were sticking to your plan. So you cannot force success. Success will come to you as a result of you being consistent. And from there, all the people watching on the outside will tailor a story and say, what a genius, what a this, what a that, what a this, what a that. He got it perfect time, perfect but they won't see how many times you got it wrong. They won't see all the other days leading up to that one day where you were showing up at the same time and the market was just not doing it for you. So you cannot force these things. You have to allow the markets to play out the way that the markets are going to play out and to give you what you deserve. How to be an exceptional trader. Knowing the common reasons why traders fail is the first step to avoiding them. But to really take your trading to the next level, you need guidance and to develop a foundation of trading knowledge. Here are some important tips for making it happen. Don't do it alone. One of the biggest reasons why traders make these rookie mistakes is because they are trying to do everything alone. Without assistance, don't be an island. Assembling a strong network is one of the keys to trading success. Get yourself a mentor, seek out education, and build your knowledge account. Get involved in the trading community through my trading challenge. And that is, do not do it alone, brother. Do not do it alone. You can only do it alone once you know what you're doing. In the beginning, you need a mentor. You need someone to help you. You need someone's cause. It's not even a question, brother. You need it. The same way when you went to school, you needed a teacher and you needed textbooks. It's the same damn thing. So don't get it confused and think that you can come here and then start doing your own thing on the first day without having gone through anyone's course, anyone's text, anyone's YouTube channel, anyone's podcast, anyone speaking on trading, and think that you're going to somehow just magically become the GOAT overnight. No, you need all of the things that he mentioned in the beginning. When you're starting with zero knowledge, you need it. And I highlight that point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. You need it. It is a must. Invest in the course. Invest in the education, brother. Invest. I don't know how many times I can say, but you have to do it. It is a need. Because I see a lot of people from my past, that's exactly what they didn't do. They did not invest into any education of any sort. And when the market burnt them, they quit. Pursue an education. Every trader wants to jump in and just get trading. However, in just about any endeavor, it's important to create a strong foundation. When you learn from the bottom up, you'll be more likely to remain strong and unshakable when faced with the challenges that day trading can and will throw your way. Study obsessively. Don't just learn. Become a stock market stalker. Study charts, study companies, study different methods of trading, study everything stock related you possibly can. Get obsessed. Knowledge is power in the stock market. To gain an edge in the market, you need to be able to study the market, identify patterns, and be able to make educated trading educated trading decisions. Number 4, respect the risk. Trading is risky. This should scare you. Not so much that you do not trade, but enough that you are willing to do whatever you can to avoid losing. The fear of loss should be bound within your mind. Be afraid to lose, brother, because you will lose if you do not have a fear of loss. Know that things can go sideways. However, when you have that understanding that things can go sideways, you prepare for the worst and you prepare for the best. And because of that, people will see you and they'll see you going through a tough moment and wonder how this man is smiling and dancing through the fire, whilst the rest of the people around you are getting burnt. And it's because you respected that risk and you prepared for it. Simple as that, where they did not. They thought this was a joke, but this is real life. 5, figure out what is working and repeat it. Track your trades. All the top traders do it. By keeping track of your trades in a trading journal, you'll get invaluable data about what's working and what's not. Over time, you'll see trends in terms of what's making you profit and what's making you lose. Start to zero into the steps that are making you profits. Refine your strategy. Repeat it over and over. This is one of the secrets to 13.5 million trader Trim Gritani's success. So we'll see the next case study of Tim of Tim Grittani. And Tim Grittani is a living legend in the world of day trading. He blew up multiple accounts before he got serious about trading, but once he did, his career was incredible. By the time he was 24, he made his first million. Now he's up over 13.5 million in trading profits. But until he sought out proper education, he was more of a gambler than a trader. When he was in college, Tim got the gambling bug and played poker and made wagers on sporting events. He won big, but when he lost big, he decided that he needed to quit gambling and decided to try his hand at investing. He began investing with $500 and quickly lost about half of it. But actually, this was probably one of the best losses of his life because it never convinced him that if he wanted to make it as a trader, he was going to have to seek out some help and proper education. Grittani came upon my teachings, Tim's teachings, and decided to join Tim's trading challenge. In a way, his losses ended up serving him well as a student because he was extremely motivated to gain knowledge about trading. And that is what happens when you have a growth mindset, is that mistakes, losses will not get in your way because you're trying to grow and you understand pain is part of the growing process. He didn't want to drain his account like he had the first time. He devoted himself wholeheartedly to his studies, sought out mentorship, and began to form a strong foundation for a trading career. When he was ready to trade again, he was armed with a lot more knowledge the second time around, while he experienced some ups and downs during the first several months. He was better educated, learned from mistakes. He also continued his education and mentorship all the while, which helped keep him motivated and allowed him to improve as his career developed. He began really focusing on setups that were working and repeating them, and his trading career began to change for the better. Once he began to identify which setups and patterns were working for him, he really zeroed in on refining his system over time. He was able to reach a 69% win rate and an average gain of 6% per trade. Tim's track record and wins are impressive, but they are no accident. He knew when to reach out for help, and in pursuing an education, he was able to gain focus and direction in his career.